So, here's the problem that I have with Jon Snow ending. And before I start, let me make it clear Jon Snow was not actually my favorite character in the show. It was actually Oberyn Martell, up until the point he got himself killed. But Oberyn will always be my favorite character. It wasn't Jon Snow, although I really did like Jon Snow a lot. Alright, so let's get to it. Here's the problem. I don't mind that Jon didn't win the throne, and I never honestly thought that he would actually sit on the throne. Just given the character, he never really wanted the throne, and I didn't think it was gonna be one of those stories where the obvious person just ends up sitting on the throne. However, the problem with his ending is that in this last season he didn't act like himself anymore. They built up a character that was a certain way, and in the last season, all of a sudden he couldn't think for himself at all. He had to have everyone else think for him and tell him what to do. And that's a big problem because Jon was always, he was assertive, he was a strong leader, he was Ned Stark's son. This season, he was a completely different character. I felt like, in a lot of ways, I was watching a different show this season. It wasn't only him, but, I'm focusing on him because, he was a main character from the beginning. So, his storyline seemed to have been given to Arya, honestly. That's another whole other story in and of itself. But when that whole thing happened with Daenerys, it should have been just him assertive and he knew what he had to do, but they dragged it out, and all he said this season was McQueen, McQueen, I don't want it. He walked around like a zombie and like a sad puppy, and it was just pathetic to see that character just be a completely different character. And he should have ended up having some sort of a fight with Grey Worm and killing Grey Worm to get to Daenerys, ultimately to having to kill her because he knew that was the right thing to do. And as far as him going back up to the north, I didn't have any problem with that if at the end of the series he decided to go up to the north, even though he never really said that he wanted to just go beyond the wall again. He never, everyone else, well, not everyone else, but Tormund was the one that said, you have the real north in you, you know where you belong. And they foreshadowed that, but you never really got the impression that that's what he really wanted to do. With that said, people are trying to say like, oh, you see, Jon ended up happy. It was a happy ending because he's back with Tormund and Ghost, and it was a happy ending for him, and that's where he wanted to be. But you really got no indication of that. In fact, he looked really, really sad when he was going back up there. Now, you could say that was just because he had to kill Daenerys, but it didn't look like that. It looked like wow, he was completely defeated. He wound up right back where he started, where he escaped from, back where he started, because he knew that he realized early on that he had made a mistake going up to the wall, because everyone tried to warn him what it really was. No, nobody warned him. In fact, it was Tyrion that warned him what the wall really was. So, if at the end he would have went to the wall on his own, I would have been fine like that. If he just decided, you know what, I don't want this, I'm gonna want to go back up beyond the wall. That's where I want to be. I'm done with all this fighting. I'm done with all of this, with the realm and everything. I would have been perfectly fine with that, and I think it would have been good for the character, and it would have done the character some justice. But the fact that he was forced to go to the wall and he was banished to the wall, it's such a slap in the face to the character. It's such a low moment, and it's just terrible. And that scene with Tyrion, where Tyrion is telling him, "Oh, the new king decided to send you to the wall, to the Night's Watch," and the new king is his brother, and Grey Worm is already gone or leaving. So why does he have to go? Sansa owns the North. It's so stupid. And that's all I wanted to say is I don't have a problem with him going up north and beyond the wall. I don't have an issue with him not sitting on the throne. It's how they went about it, and the fact that he was forced to go up there, that is absolute garbage. So you guys, tell me what you think about the ending of the show and Jon Snow in particular. Like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate it. This is Mike from Bensoners. Keep banging.